probably the most balance I've felt since having children, because when you have 2 kids, and that's what I tell young parents, you feel off balance, you're right where you're supposed to be. It's not you, it's them. So I'm just now starting to get my balance back with Sasha about to start college. We will be empty nesters. And not one of those helicopter moms. You're like, are you gonna miss me, Mom? It's like, I'll visit.
I'll let you know.
Right. And this couples is where you start looking at your husband going, I like you. I'm so glad I didn't walk out on you. So there's now more time for us as an us. There's more time for me as a me without feeling guilty, because that's what we feel as moms. Is like when they're in the house, it's like you feel like every little thing you do for yourself is something
it's taking away from them.
Exactly. So exercise is an important part of that. I continue to exercise, but now really being able to think about what does exercise mean at 55, because I can't do the things I did at 45 without twisting something or being sore. And it's like, you young people who think you just wait. Every decade it gets harder, y'all. It's not right.
But I got so many vitamins now I can't zip.
Vitamins and yoga is key.
Vitamins, the eye vitamins.
Flexibility is now key, because you aren't stretching. You have to stretch. Young people, this is what old people have to do. You actually have to stretch before and after your workout. You can't just get your little bag and leave. Get your water bottle. That's a great workout. It's like, the old people are on the roller. We're rolling. I never knew what that roller was for until I was here. Now I know. It's like, oh, I need that roller.
I love that roller.
Roller's key.
That roller's my buddy. Is there anything else that you would like to add this evening?
Well, are we wrapping up?
Don't yell at me. They put a blinky thing up. Did they say wrap it up? Read the social media questions. They told me make that the last thing. Is there any? Well, we could stay here all night if she.
You all know you have to go to work in the morning. So don't use me as an excuse. It's like, I would be like, if she went on and on and on. I know y'all, you'll be writing about it. It's like, she talked way too much. But what I will say first of all is, Rachel, I love you. You have been such an important part of helping me get all my many messages out. And that is because you are as good and as kind as you appear to be. You were also somebody that folks want to live next door to. And we don't get to say this on your show, but you are an amazing advocate, an amazing human being, and I thank you for taking time to do this.
Thank you. It's the biggest honor.
I guess the one thing in these times that I want to leave people with, and it does go back to hope, because I know that people are feeling a certain kind of way, because we're hearing a version of this country that I want to assure people is not the version that I saw over the last decade. That is, and I want, part of this book is about letting each other into our stories. Because one of the things I say in the book is that it's harder to hate up close. And it's very easy to stigmatize people who you don't know, to sort of demonize people who you perceive to be other, to not give one another the benefit of the doubt, to fear. And in the age of social media, where we have less one-on-one interaction, and we are getting fed information about each other through a phone. We can be confused. But I've had the privilege, one of the few people in this country to have the privilege to actually travel around it, and go into big cities and small towns with folks of all colors and religious backgrounds and political persuasions. And let me tell you, I get letters from people who absolutely do not agree. They will tell me, I didn't like your husband, never did. And that's okay. But what I also see there is the context of people's lives, that people are relating to this book because the story of this little girl, Michelle Robinson, that you fall in love with, is the story of all of us. That's what connects. It's not the color of her skin that makes you love her. It's the love in that household. It's the values we share. It's the kindness. It's the compassion. It's the openness. It's the willingness to see the other person's context, to hear their side. And that is the truth of who we are. And don't let these moments of uncertainty make you question each other as Americans, as citizens. We are still that country, but you got to work for it. That means that, number one, it starts with working with each of us. That means if you're going to share your story, you have to be comfortable knowing and owning your own story. And all these little stories about me, everyone has them. There's nothing special about what I shared. The specialness is that they were mine, and everyone has that. So now you got to start owning the specialness in all of your stories. And then when you can do that, then you can open up, because you're not embarrassed, you're not ashamed, you're not misguided that there's only one way to be human, one way to be American. We're all American, all of us, and all our struggles and our hurts. And then once we get the courage to own our own stories and the bravery to face our foibles, then we can share that with pride with each other and letting each other into those stories so that we're not strangers. So our job is not to let other people make us strangers to one another. That means we have to have the courage to dig inside and then open up so that we get to know our neighbors, that we have some conversations, that we give each other the benefit of the doubt. We are capable of that. We have done it before. We have been through worse. We have overcome a lot. We are still a country becoming, all of us. We're not there yet, but it's a constant evolutionary process. And in order to do it, you have to remain hopeful and you have to remain active. Change doesn't happen passively. No one's going to do it for us. So we have to be prepared to do that work. So I want people to leave here feeling what I always feel when I'm out in this country, and I feel hopeful. And the last thing I will say is that we owe that to our children. We cannot afford to give up and to be resigned to fear, because our kids require us to be more for them, so that they grow into a country that is not full of isms, but it's full of opportunity for every single child. It's up to us to be that and pave the way for them. So we have no choice but to be hopeful if we love our kids, which we all do. Am I right? So I want to thank you all. Thank you.